Yeah, you head coach Chris Wilkerson, the team coming off a loss 21-9 against number 5 ranked Tennessee Tech this week, back in action at Lindenwood on Saturday afternoon. So, coach, some thoughts about your team, and then we'll go to some questions.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. First thing, just want to say happy Veterans Day. And, I want to thank everybody who serves and who has served in the past and certainly providing us the freedom that we have to try to, coach college football and inspire young people, but to live in a great country. And just thank you again to all the veterans. And I hope everybody has a safe and happy Veterans Day. Football wise, just again, disappointed with the result on Saturday. We did do some good things, but not enough against obviously a very talented, well coached football team. We've got a ton of respect for Coach Wilder and Tennessee Tech. The program that he has built and is building, and we wish them nothing but the best as they will obviously have a place in the 2014 National Championship playoff field and representing the Big South OVC. So again, can't dwell on it. We're certainly on to the next challenge, and it will be a tremendous challenge against another talented and very well coached football team in Lindenwood. Coach Stugart has done a phenomenal job there, assembling a great group of talent, developing talent. They've got a strong culture. They're one of the best coach teams in the league. They're the least penalized team in the league. They do a very good job executing, and they can hurt you in all three phases. So we've got a ton of work to do this week. I'm excited about the opportunity. Our kids have certainly showed up and prepared every single week, but we just don't have the results to show for it. And so, hey, we're still searching for that best performance of this group's this season, and we're just going to keep working and grinding and get ready for 202 on Saturday.
Thanks, coach. We'll go to some questions. Barry is with us. Go ahead, Barry.
Good morning, Coach. I wanted to ask you, first of all, in the last 5 games, you've had a 1 point loss, an overtime loss, and you've held the number 5 team in the country to its lowest point total of the season. Are you able to find anything encouraging in those results?
That's a great question, Barry. And yes, there are some things that are encouraging, and there's some things that we have done that are positive. But this is a results-oriented profession, and there are no such things as moral victories. Yes, again, like you mentioned it, they Tennessee Tech last week was averaging almost 50 points a game and 500 yards a game on offense, and our defense held them to 14 points and 300 yards. Now they had a chance to make a couple plays, and they just dropped a couple passes, had a couple guys we cut loose, but that's football. And in the end of it, we didn't do enough to win the football game. Yes, we've been in some games where we had a chance to potentially kick a field goal at the end to win some games, but we didn't do it. And there are always other plays as you go through the entire game that would have a massive impact as well. And so at the end of the day, the teams are so balanced. They're so well coached. There's going to be 6 or 7 or 8 plays every single week that will make the difference. And we just got to make more of those plays as we continue to finish this season together.
You spoke on Saturday about missed opportunities, and I wanted to ask you about, are there nagging things that have kind of repeated themselves, or are these kind of one-offs during different situations for you guys?
A little bit of both. Certainly we haven't been able to score enough points. And, the turnover thing, we had 2 takeaways, one on their side of the 50, and their defense did a phenomenal job. They bowed up and kept us out of the end zone, made us, put us in a field goal attempt situation. At that point, it was 14-3. I thought the field goal was the right thing to do to make it a 1-score game, and they blocked it. And so, we got 2 takeaways and we got no points off of those turnovers on Saturday. And Tennessee Tech got 2 takeaways and they got 7 because they were able to scoop and score their fumble with Darian Gaines, the player of the week in our conference. So, sometimes again, you talk about takeaways and taking care of the football, but it really is the points that you can create or not allow off of those turnovers. And that was one of the biggest differences in the game on Saturday.
Alex Herrera had a career game, your tight end, and I wanted to ask you about how was Alex able to impact that game, and how has he impacted your season?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. We should be utilizing Alex quite a bit more, and just haven't as a coaching staff. And he's somebody that we have known as a weapon. Certainly last year we were able to redshirt him, and he played 4 games for us. Had a big day for us on Saturday. Our wide receiver core is banged up. Cooper Woman's been out. C.J. Nelson sat out on Saturday. Dearius was in and out of the game. But Alex is a guy that can play as a wide receiver or as a tight end. We can bring him back into the formation or expand him out of the formation. And I think that does create some problems and some matchups for defenses. He's a guy that we're going to continue to lean on. these last couple weeks. And, hopefully he'll be one of the things that will help us try to get going and finish some drives and score some points on offense. But love him. Great kid, tremendous talent, great ball catcher, high football IQ, great effort guy.
Lastly, Coach, I wanted to ask you about quarterback. You had mentioned about how Cole and Connor kind of came into this season with not a lot of experience. I wanted to ask you if you can explain individually where their biggest areas of growth have been, and also where you need to see a little bit more out of them. Anything they need to improve on.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Cole has continued to grow as a passer, and his numbers over the last couple weeks have been much more efficient than they were early in the season. Obviously, he's already a very talented athlete, but also becoming comfortable with the offense and the pieces around him. Now, we haven't been able to maintain the continuity with the number of injuries we've sustained, but that's out of his control. So he's continued to grow as a passer. I think he will continue to grow as a passer. There's no substitution for live game experience. And then Connor, the biggest thing has been his availability. Again, he was banged up a little during preseason, and that skewed the quarterback competition just a little bit. And then when he was able to get healthy, certainly had a big breakout game against the Redbirds early in the season. But then he had the rib problem and has been in and out, been sick a little bit. Last spring, he had a little bit of a shoulder problem. So it's just his being available for us on a consistent basis every single week. And at the end of this game, this last week, he got his knee twisted just a little bit, TBA on whether he'll play on Saturday or not. But, again, having an experienced quarterback, and for us this week, obviously Lindenwood, there's not a more experienced quarterback in the league. Nate Glantz is an awesome athlete. He's played a ton of college football. He can make plays with his feet. He can extend plays. He can make plays on schedule, off schedule. He can make every throw on the field. And he really, really, really helps their football team and their offense go because he has played so much college football as a seasoned guy. So, yeah, you continue to grow as you gain experience, and both have grown, but there's an awful lot more, a lot of maturity that needs to happen as they continue to progress as football players.
Great. Always appreciate your time, Coach. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Coach, you were just talking about Glance. What about Lindenwood's running game? And Steve Hall's kind of been banged up all year, but he went for 148 against Western.
Yeah. Again, they are as balanced as anybody in the league. Again, Glantz, I think, can do pretty much anything they need to do. It can extend plays, on schedule, off schedule, make every throw. He's got awesome perimeter people as well. I mean, between the three wideouts, over 100 catches. And then they've got the leading receiver at tight end in the league. Their tight ends caught 30 passes. But you mentioned it, Hall and Rhodes, that two-headed monster in the backfield, both are unbelievable football players, very talented. Again, I don't know if Hall was banged up a little bit early in the season, but he is very capable, was a freshman All-American, extremely talented. He's a high production guy. He's got great contact balance, finishes runs, can block the blitz. And can catch the ball when they throw it to him, but it seems like they prefer to throw it to Rhodes just a little bit more. But they do a really good job up front with their offensive line, getting a body on a body, and they keep Glantz upright. And if there is any pressure, Glantz can certainly slide, avoid, extend plays with his feet. He's willing to run pretty much all over the field if it means extending a play. But we're going to have our hands full. They are a tremendous offense, very talented, and very, very balanced.
Well, Coach, thanks for your time as always. Best of luck Saturday. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks a million. Go Panthers.